Hey YouTube, it's raining here and I wanted to do a follow-up video on my progress. I've actually shot several videos and haven't posted any. I don't even know if I'll post this one, but things have settled down. I'm in my new house now that I just bought, and things got pretty bad as far as the depression goes, and the anxiety became really heightened. It's very interesting because for a while there I was doing really well. Surprisingly, I was feeling better than I'd felt in a long time mentally, even though I was suffering the loss of my grandmother. It was a pretty odd thing. Sort of like the stress just got, really bad, and I was able to overcome it, and I was getting closer to God, and there was a lot of good things going on in my life outside of the loss of my grandma. As far as my growth and my spirituality, I had since hit a wall when I moved here, and I was at the store and I sort of just realized that my memory was very, very foggy, and kind of caused a little bit of anxiety. And then me being, in a new area, my anxiety just got really, really bad. And then I sort of, decided to up my med a little bit, and then became more and more foggy. Obviously, I understand that these medications can cause depressive symptoms, because the only medications I've ever taken in my life are central nervous system depressants. So anyway, it got really, really bad to the point where I had to call a suicide hotline, just because I'm tired of the the struggle. But I started pushing myself, going places. Things are starting to get better, and a big part of that, I think, is lamictal. I'm going to do another video about that, maybe if you guys want me to. But I decided to come off the lamictal because it's definitely not helping. If anything, it might be making things a little worse. So I only got up to 50 milligrams. I've tried to go up to 75 many times, but it just makes my anxiety and my memory so bad. And then, it was working at first. It was definitely making a difference, but then it just tapered off. And I was also taking the supplement lamictal a few times, and I think I realized that stuff was having a profound impact. Also, one of the big things with the lamictal that's possibly happening, I'm not 100% certain it's the drug, but I've been having flu-like symptoms pretty much ever since I started it. Not constantly, but on and off. I seem to get burned out really quickly. It could be stress, but it's very coincidental that it's kind of coincided with when I started taking it, and every time I up the dosage. And it's becoming so common that I feel very, very achy. I feel very feverish. I'm not sick, but sometimes I can barely even get out of bed because of how physically sick I am, not because of anxiety or depression. And that was making me feel a lot worse, obviously, in that I felt so ill. So I'm dedicated to come off of that. And gabapentin's always been sort of my safety net. I don't love the way it makes me feel. Above 300 milligrams, I start to feel, a little bit drunkish. Very sensitive to medications. My doctor said that the dosages I'm on of everything shouldn't even be having an effect, but it definitely gives me a little bit of an edge relief. But the lamictal is designed to regulate glutamate receptors. I've read the studies. You can read them for yourself. And really, that and Campril seems pretty interesting. But my doctor wrote me a prescription for lamictal, which is only sold in Europe with a prescription, but you can order it online. I got the sulfate version, which is called, from the actual manufacturer, and that stuff is, oh my god, when I took the first pill, which is the lowest dose, 12.5 milligrams, I felt like I took a Percocet or something. And I've never taken like Percocets like outside of having my wisdom teeth removed, but I remember throwing them in the trash because of how high I felt, and I've never been a fan of feeling that way. So I didn't like the way it made me feel. I cut a pill in half, and it definitely took the edge off, and it made me not stress as much about the way I felt. So I decided to order the sodium version, which is made in America, and it has a much longer, onset, or longer half-life, and it's very chill. When I take it, I almost feel normal. I've been able to do a lot of things, and according to the studies, it's a very safe medication. I don't know about long term, but it supposedly regrows the hippocampus. They measured it in rats who suffered, depression and stress, so they killed them, and they measured their brains, and they had grown back. It's one of the first drugs with a novel mechanism to regenerate the brain, and they're even done studies with, dementia patients and stuff. It's very, very. The thing that sucks is the very short half-life. 2 to 3 hours for the actual stuff, but then the supplemental sodium version is, I think, 5.5 hours. So I'm also doing a modified paleo diet. Doing pretty well with it, about 90% paleo for the past 12 days, something like that. But I cheated once, big time, and ordered a pizza, and then I felt horrible. But as I'm coming off the lamictal, all of a sudden, after a few days of lowering the dose, because I'm only on 50, I lowered to 25, and my burning started coming back. If you watch my videos, that's one of my, physically is a horrible symptom, and all my physical symptoms were completely abated. So it's very distressing for that to sort of come back, but I'm suppressing glutamate, and as those glutamate receptors are coming back online, it's causing some burning sensations. So I'm sort of trying to compromise and up my gabapentin dosage. If I can get off the lamictal, which shouldn't be too hard on a low dose, I am, then I can take the gabapentin and then wean down on that, and hopefully switch over to tianeptine, and then that's my plan right now. And I'm going to do some follow-up videos about my sort of protocol. And this is not something I'm recommending for anybody at all. I'm not a doctor. This is just, me documenting my story. It helps me to go back and look and see what my progress is. The good news, over the past year, I've had a lot of good days. I had more good days this past year than I've had in probably 15 combined years. Well, maybe 8 years before that. But I've had very little depersonalization. That started coming back it started getting heightened, but I opened up my tool bag again and read some of my old books and remembered that how to stop that. So I kind of nipped that in the bud, and now I just have pretty much brain fog, poor memory, a lot of fatigue, but I'm working on that. I've been still exercising. I don't drink, I don't smoke, I did a little bit of caffeine, but I'm trying to reduce that. It doesn't help, it makes me more tired. But I was off caffeine for 4 years. I tried to take a little bit. But anyway, the tianeptine allowed me to do some things recently that I wouldn't have been able to do. I didn't necessarily enjoy it 100%, but I did. It does relax you and that sort of thing. I don't know if it's going to be the solution, but I'm hoping so. You push enough buttons, eventually you push the right one. So I will follow up with y'all soon. Maybe even give you a tour of my new house or something like that. I also saved some squirrels who fell out of a tree when their mom died. and I'm raising them. That's been a lot of work. But anyway, I'll talk to you soon and give you an update. I'd love to hear from you. Leave me a message below. Hit subscribe. I've gained some decent subscriber base, and I love that. I love to know that I'm helping people, or at least people are reaching out and helping me too. So it's been a good experience. YouTube. Sorry I haven't been on here for a little while, but as always, I want to shoot a video that says, "Hey, I'm happy, everything's perfect," and one day I'll have that. And just gotta find what works for me. You gotta find what works for you, and hopefully use some of my advice, some of my mistakes to help you out. All right, thank you very much. God bless, and take care.